With the amount of winning that's been happening in the markets lately, I felt that it would be pretty fun to come on here and share a little bit about how I'm approaching investing, both short-term and long-term. First, I'd like to preface this commentary by saying that this is not financial advice. I'm just a dude in college who likes investing and learned a lot from other people in books, so I'm just here sharing some of what I've learned, and maybe learn more from you guys in the comments. Anyways, enjoy the video. I have two types of brokerage accounts under my name. One is an individual taxable account, in which I'd like to trade individual stocks, and the other is a Roth IRA, which is a retirement account. I'll get to that one later. Right now, let's talk about what a taxable account is, and what I personally invest in things through said account. An individual taxable account is a prime example of what people think of investing. It's a flexible toolbox, in a sense, which allows you to purchase stock in a company, ETFs, options, and more. I use my account to buy and sell stock in companies. There are many different strategies for trading, the most common of which is the standard buy low, sell high, which is very great for beginners or people who don't want to devote too much time into investing. Now, I'm what's known as a swing trader. Basically, this means I look for short-term or mid-term movements in the market to make a profit. Let me give you a rundown of what I mean. On screen are a few screenshots I have of some trades I made over the last year or so. All of these trades occurred within about a week or so. As you can see, it's not much of a gain, mostly because I don't have much money to put into my accounts. But not gonna lie, 10 minutes worth of work for a Chipotle bowl is kind of worth it. I just showed some of my short-term trades that I typically place. For those, I typically look at financial news in the markets and judge based on which companies I think are going to pop off in the coming weeks or months or so. There's a whole lot more to go into for that, but I'll probably save those topics for another video. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you want to see more of my strategies and whatnot. But for now, let's talk about long-term. I mentioned earlier that I have a Roth IRA account, which I also invest in. The special thing about that is that as long as you take money out of it when you're at least 59 and a half years old, capital gains are untaxable. So that means what you make from the account is exactly where you're going to get when you take money out of it. You can technically take out money earlier, but there is a penalty for doing so. So it's really just for when you retire. Now, don't take this as an infinite money glitch, because it's not. However, if used correctly, an IRA can be really helpful for saving for retirement. The IRS sets a limit to how much you can invest into the account. As of 2025, it's about $7,000 per year. Also, if you make too much money, in 2025 that's about $150,000 adjusted gross income, you can't invest in it at all. However, if you find yourself in this position for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why you're watching this video, since you're probably pretty well off, but thanks for tuning in anyways. Back on track though. The idea behind a Roth IRA is that you invest money in it that you don't plan on touching for years. You're basically just riding the markets throughout the years, watching the money work for you. And to make things easier, I typically buy into ETFs, or what are called exchange-traded funds. These are basically big investment funds that buy into a group of companies. Some popular ones include the S&P 500, which tracks the top 500 U.S. companies, Russell 2000, which tracks the top 2,000 U.S. companies, Invesco QQQ, which tracks NASDAQ companies, which is a different listing, and the Dow Jones, which primarily tracks like blue chip companies. So instead of buying into these ones individually, it's a lot simpler to put money into these indexes, which just follow the markets for the companies they invest in. Now you may be wondering, what's the easiest way to put money into the markets? Well, there's two main types of transfers for brokerage accounts. One is called a lump sum transaction, in which you put a ton of money into stocks and ETFs all at once and take it from there. This can be helpful if you're seeing crazy growth opportunities in the near future, especially if markets are down. The other, more boring way, which I use a lot, is called dollar cost averaging. This is a fancy way of saying to put some funds into your account and invest at regular intervals. I do this by getting my paycheck from my job, and basically as soon as possible, I put a fraction of that money into my accounts. It makes it much easier for me to not stress about when to put the money in, and it's overall just much more organized. I'd highly recommend setting up a direct deposit method of transfer if you can, but if not, just set a reminder on your phone like me and put whatever percentage into your accounts on a certain day. That's really it for this video. It was a short one, I know, but I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments about your investment strategies or any questions you have regarding where to start or how to improve from beginner levels of investing to intermediate or whatever. I know a little bit, so I'd love to make another video on this. Anyways, go have fun making money, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'm really excited for. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll make a post about it soon. But anyways, stay tuned and have a great day.